now react to that movement, to reevaluate all of our analysis that we've done, and pretty much see whether our ideas at the beginning of the week, whether they have any validity to them, or we got to reorganize what we're thinking about for those ideas. Um, so this is going to be a big session. I'd say Wednesday sessions are probably like the biggest of sessions because you want to start the week off or end the week strong. Obviously, Sunday is important because you want to like start the week strong. Obviously, um, so yeah, this is going to be a big session today, for sure. Is recorded, my Wi-Fi. Yeah, this whole thing is going to be recorded. I just started recording. So all you guys watching this, we didn't go over much. They're just asking some questions in the chat. This is obviously Forex League Live. We got Nick here, ready to cover some
All
analyses.
right.
Yeah, we got
Yeah, so
Nick.
these are all recorded, and you guys will have access to them after the fact. So no worries. You guys can always watch later, and then there's always a bunch of members who can't always make the time zone because of time zone differences. So yeah.
Yeah, so like I was saying, Forex League Live, whole purpose of this is to see how me and Nick are looking at the markets for the day. It's important for you to every day come on, and obviously we're checking the charts all day, but it's important for in the morning, at least for us, it's the morning for us. So we're going to come on, refresh what we're looking at for the day so we have a good, clear direction as to what we're looking for. We'll update the watch list. We'll see what's up with that, and that way we can stay organized, stay on top of the game, not get tricked out by anything just because we weren't prepared. And yeah, we're going to look to drop some tips for you guys, some nuggets in here as well as some trade ideas, go over where we're putting projections, levels. Obviously we trade very zone to zone. We just put zones on here based on support and resistance. We're trend traders. We use top-down analysis. So we'll start on the higher time frames. We'll work to the lower time frames. We'll let you know where we put our fibs and everything like that. So like we've been doing, I'm just going to hop into the fundamentals chat yesterday. Obviously, some fundamentals came out about CAD JPY. I'm just going to read real quick a little bit of these quotes we had about these oil contracts. So obviously oil is right now at $0 a barrel. I know everybody's trying to trade oil and become an oil trader now and everything, and which is cool. But I think what you also have to realize is a lot of the people that are trading oil are getting hit by these swap fees, so they're not even making really any profits on these huge trades that they're taking. So like we always recommend, just stick to the bread and butter, stick to the currency pairs, continue learning. You're not going to just overnight become an oil millionaire. Like, continue learning and continue improving your skill so that one or two or three pairs you become very consistent with, and that you don't need to wish on a star for things like oil to go down. So again, have these fundamentals here. Yesterday you could have read through them. Today I'm not necessarily going to read through them, but they're here for you guys if you want to like pause the video and just take a look. Today we'll be dropping some more updates, for the premium signals members and just for the members in general. And yeah, how we like to start this off is Nick's gonna go over DXY. He's gonna cover what DXY is, why we look at it, and that being said, I'll send the chart over to Nick and he'll share up.
Awesome. Let me give you 1 second here.
Yep.
All right, guys. So we cover this every week, right? I always talk about DXY because it's a good starting point. I use it as an indicator. I want to get an idea of where the US dollar is going, right? So this is this DXY. This chart shows the strength of the US dollar, which makes up for 80% of all trade in the Forex market. So it's pretty related to what we're doing. We're trading mostly majors. The US dollar is very involved in what we're doing. So it should be this should be one of the things you're looking at. Pretty much just using it as a tool, adding it to your toolbox of things to be looking at, things to apply to your charts, and just things to consider. So I'll always come to this chart, DXY, take a look at what's going on. Right, so let's get a general idea of the sentiment. We'll jump up time frames to the daily for starters. And it's just been very bullish on all time frames. I've also been labeling this for everybody who's noticed: monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour. I'll just give you the overall trend. So, you're not really, looking at a chart and asking what's going on the higher time frames, I've labeled pretty much the entire sentiment here. So this has been very bullish. DXY has been steadily bullish. This giant spike here was, again, news related, pretty much correlated directly with Corona, and caused a short-term hyper demand for the dollar. And that's what this giant rally is. And now we're kind of playing between a sweet spot between 101 and 98.85. This is actually really good for the dollar. We don't want it too overvalued because it actually has an inverse effect on other currencies. And we don't want it too weak, obviously, because it is, considered a safe haven currency. It is the reserve currency for the world. So it should be strong, but, it should be stable, which is why it's so appealing, which is why it's this reserve currency in the first place, is because it's so, extraordinarily stable. So if we keep dropping down time frames, we can see that this 4 hour has been very bearish as well. I mean, not very bullish. So for all, for the short term, we're pretty bullish on the dollar, at least, because this, again, very steady 4 hour trend. It's breaking this lower high over here, finding support on new structure levels, and it's just pushing up higher towards this 101 area. So it's looking pretty good. We are bullish. It did find support recently just at this 100 level. You could see here, see how it's bouncing currently. With a nice little bullish engulfing. There was a little bit of exhaustion, but it does look like it is continuing up. So again, we're just going to continue with that bias, that bullish bias for the dollar. And, we'll see if it goes all the way up to 101. So that's DXY for right now. Again, it is forming pretty good structure, so you could just follow this as it develops more into the week. So what I'm currently looking at now is AUD and AUD USD right now. We did look to short as it was breaking these lower levels, but apparently this was not, enough conviction for it to, push lower down toward our 62 mark. So it did come back up and test structure at a higher level, right around 63.40, as you can see here. And it does look to be making a push towards the downside again, but still not convinced this is still another, lower time frame structure level that we're currently at now. So we're just going to wait for the next hour and see how this closes. Always good to bump up and just check higher time frames as well. See what these 4 hour candles are telling us, as they do carry quite a bit of weight, right? And all these higher time frames are very, very bearish, right? Except for this. This is a retracement here, and now we're saying this is starting to turn bearish because it's breaking out of this channel, right? We're starting to get these lower highs, these lower lows on this lower time frame here. So, this could be the start of a major transition to the downside again, or just a larger continuation here. As we bump up time frames, this will just be more of a, higher time frame move if this does play out. But for right now, this 4 hour trend here was bullish, and now we're reconsidering as this is breaking. But it was bullish, and it was also a pullback, right? So this is just a retracement to the 78.6, a big confluence area, big psychological level around the 64 handle, as well as this weekly resistance level. So we could see a nice play coming out of AUD soon. We just want to see those confirmations. This is a big move, so potentially a pretty big move. So we want to see that 4 hour confirmation, then the 1 hour, and then we could start looking for entries. But for right now, we're just going to see how this develops in the short term. Let me just square this up here. Okay, let's keep moving. We're on to AJ now. Very similar. Again, it moves very, very similar to AUD USD. However, it's AJ, so it does have more volume naturally. But it's pretty similar, right? This was a big retracement here, up to this current level around 69, and then we're starting to get these, lower lows. Minor structure levels are breaking, and we just want to see how it reacts at this current level. So I want to see it break here. I want to see a clean break of the 67.5 area, and then followed by a retest, in which case we could enter on another lower high, start targeting lower. But for right now, this is just we're just waiting on AUD to make a move because, it is just consolidating a little bit. I want to see if this is going to be a continuation or if it's going to, start to make that higher time frame continuation towards our bearish sentiment. All right, so I'm going to move on to Euro USD, which is looking pretty good. Let me just go ahead and move this watch list. All right, so we're on Euro USD here. It is consolidating. Well, let me jump up time frames to the 4 hour. It is primarily very bearish. Very, very bearish. But it is consolidating heavily. So much indecision at this current level. It's ranging between, 10.8 1082.50 and 1087.50. So it's just ranging between here. You can see tons of wicks, tons of uncertainty, double bottoms, and so on, engulfings. So there's not really much we could do from this area until we see a break of this, either the 1087.50 area. I want to see a break, significant close, get in on a retest, high or low, with plenty of bullish setups. This would actually be a pretty good trade, and then you could target higher towards this 1096 area. But if the higher time frame, sentiment trend does continue, we're looking for bearish setups coming out of this area after support breaks, retesting this 1082.50 area as resistance. As always, we're looking to enter on those strong bearish setups towards the downside. Any variation, engulfings, large exhaustion coming off this area would be good as well. So this one's looking pretty good, but it's consolidating very, very heavily. So this could be a pretty explosive move. You have to be quick in catching it. So we'll be watching very carefully. Very, very carefully. So let's keep going. See what else is looking good this week. See, gold actually just popped up overnight. This was interesting. So we had two potential scenarios for gold. Very bullish. Always got to keep that in mind, right? We've always covered that quite a bit.
Yeah, gold is probably going to continue to just fire up.
I think so too. I think it's going to go to 1800 in the short term. So that's where we have it going, and it looks to be making that play right now. It actually just broke this lower time frame structure level. I'll drop time frames in a second. I just want to show you this 4 hour. How we had this double bottom, a lot of exhaustion. It actually wicked the 50% and then closed around the 38.2, as well as this monthly support. A lot of confluence here, and now we have that transition, right? Finally broke. It looks like it's retesting on a lower time frame. So there could be an entry opportunity in here, in which case we'll then target towards our negative 27 fib level and the 1800 level. So this is a huge confluence area as a good target. So let's go ahead and drop to 1 hour. Let me clean this up a little bit for you guys. Get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. All right. So this is, we can see clearly this is what happened, right? We had the MA cross here. We found it as support on this lower time frame. And then we just start getting these big bullish, bullish candles. This is a variation, 3 in a row here. Came back down and tested as soon as it broke it. And then the MAs were there as well to catch it. And then we have this, again, large bullish engulfing. So this definitely looks more bullish to me, like it could be ready to take off fairly soon. There is a little bit of exhaustion on some of these candles. These wicks are a little longer than we'd like them to be. So it could come down for another touch, but we'll be watching. So something like this would look like this. Target toward the 1800 area. All right, just to give you guys a visual of what you could potentially expect from this trade. And you could actually pull it all the way down here and still have a good risk reward, right? All the way down to 440.
What is this, gold? Oh yeah, that's a major break right there for sure.
Yeah, it's a pretty big break. So this is one scenario of how this trade could look, and it could be a good risk reward still, and still only risk 2%, guys. That's all we really want to do, and just target higher, right? So this is definitely one. I'll post this analysis in the Discord right after this. So yeah, again, look, this has pretty much been exactly what gold has been doing over and over again for the last, couple of months. So look, it makes these big pushes. It consolidates, just like we're seeing here. Consolidates, right? Big push, even on this lower scale here. Consolidation, big push. It just keeps doing the same thing. So where is this bar pattern? Right, so you have this big push. Let's do consolidation, big push. And then look, it pretty much lines up exactly. See? So that's just what it has been doing so far. Not saying it's going to exactly follow this, but we are bullish. The sentiment has still remained the same. So we could very well see something similar to this, where you see another push, consolidation on lower scale, like here, nice little flag potentially, and then just another leg higher. So that's gold. And again, I'll post this in Discord right after. So no worries, guys. So that's all that I'm looking at today. That's the highest probability that I see. Just watching DXY, see if anything significant comes out of DXY. Anything at all is something to be aware of. And I'll be watching AUD in correlation to that, and AJ. I'll be watching EU as well. I just want to see if this break happens, and if there's a large move from US dollar today, you'll definitely see it. And then, as always, keep an eye on gold. So that's what I got for you guys. Angela, if you want to go over a few, more
Hell
than
yeah.
welcome to.
All right, so I'm gonna hop on, go over some pairs. We'll go over all the ones that you guys mentioned in the chat. Let's go over GU first. So again, we're gonna start just doing top-down analysis, always aware of what's going on the weekly time frame, and then we'll talk about where we put our fibs, you know, what we do with that. I know a lot of you guys are confused about that. So basically, this weekly time frame, just look at this 200-day moving average. Obviously, has been trending downwards. We can easily tell that this price has been falling. We're in a downtrend, right, on this weekly time frame. You know, a little bit of candlestick analysis on this weekly. We got this monthly resistance level here. We talk about these levels a lot. Right now, we won't get too in depth as to why this one's here or whatnot. But we found some rejection last week off this level, which led me to believe that we were going to find some more downward movement, considering we're below the moving averages, pointing down. You know, lot of resistance here, a lot of buyers exhaustion. So this is when I'll start to cycle down, because we want to focus in on this leg right here. Daily time frame obviously fell, you know, dramatically here over the course of, you know, 5 days or so. So obviously this is our low, this is our high to our low. We're going to always fib, you know, from the first bearish candle that starts this new push to a new low. And then we're going to fib to the end where we have this bearish bullish variation right here where we find support. So first levels we're going to look for 38.2, 618. Obviously, you know, we came a little bit above the 618 here, but this resistance level lined up with the 200-day moving average. So that's two confirmations there. Two confirmations, and then we were waiting for a third. Our third came after this daily bearish engulfing candle right there, right? That confirmed everything we needed for us. So I was just sitting up on this daily time frame waiting. I don't need to be down on that lower time frame, confusing myself. But at the same time, say we were, what I was looking at here was I was looking at all the way down. So on the daily, overall structure, okay. What I like to do is cycle down to the 1 hour time frame, focusing in on this range right here. We had this push, and then we had this lower high form, retested this low, lower high, retest the low, lower high, retest the low. So we had a descending triangle form. Descending triangle is normally a push, and this is also our continuation. And then this is also just our main level of support based on the 4 hour. Based on the 4 hour and also based on the 1 hour time frame. If we're just drawing how we draw structure, high, higher, low, high, higher, low, high, this became our higher low right here. And then it just maintained above these moving averages, so very strong. And then that was a level that needed to be broken. So that's where we shorted. So where we are now, you know, some people saying, oh, I feel like it's going to continue to go bearish. I mean, there's valid reasons to support that. What I would do now is I would fib on this 1 hour. I would stay on this 1 hour time frame. But first, I'm thinking about the 4 hour. Where are we? The 4 hour just found support at a pretty major level. This is a 4 hour level for sure that was tested multiple times. We just found support there again. So that's definitely major. You know, ideally long term, we got to break below that. Short term, let's go down to the 1 hour. We're in a trending market. You know, we definitely just made some new lows. We didn't break any sort of resistance. This was just our first pullback. We're in a healthy retracement right now. So I'm a fib from our high to our low. Pretty much, you know, where are we looking? 38.2, 618. Those are our two golden levels. Two main levels we're looking at. Obviously, we blew through 38.2. Now we're at 618, you know, coming up to that area. We got to look for some other confirmations here. As I look left, we definitely have, based on how we draw our support and resistance, we definitely have a level of like structure right here, like a key level. You know, drag this across, that's being tested. So this is definitely one confirmation for us. Previously, price was able to find you know, a lot of liquidity, a lot of orders in this area. Look how it took off out of this area. Look how it rejected out of that area. So we could potentially see a rejection right now on GU. I'm going to draw it out for us. You know, we get on this 1 hour time frame a bearish engulfing at the top of this. You know, we'll see how this 1 hour closes, something like that. Could be a potential opportunity here, or we could wait all the way for more of a transition of the moving averages, which is probably what I will wait for. Um, or, you know, if we don't find any sort of resistance here, we continue higher. Obviously, we have all of this resistance here. We have this previous support turn resistance. We have these lows that were retested or that were broken and now retested. Took this trade this morning. Yeah. So you're going to discuss how to find your supply and demand levels around touch base. Yeah, I can go over those really quickly. So yeah, two scenarios really right now with GU. We're in a retracement. We're not bullish. You know, we're not for you guys that want to just trade against the trend. Be my guest. But at the moment, you know, we're not bullish. Down here, you know, if you wanted to take intraday, you knew this was the 4 hour level, hit a bottom, came up here, hit support. Not a bad little move, you know, into this zone, to be honest. But you got to just realize you're trading against the trend here. So yeah, two scenarios on GJ right now. Either looking to find rejection right now, or we're looking to test this level and find rejection. Obviously, like Nick said, USD is pretty bullish right now, especially on that 4 hour. So that supports this, you know, continuing with this USD movement here. So yeah, we'll continue to maintain this trade. This trade is in the signal room, so we're just continuing to maintain that. You know, I advise people to take half profits, considering we were very close to 2-to-1 ratio. I advise them to close, you know, half their orders, you know, at this point. So we're just rolling risk free now at this point. Let's pop over to UJ. UJ has been consolidating a lot. So let's bump up to the weekly again, and let's get a better idea as to what is going on in this overall time frame. Looks very choppy, but same thing we did with GU is we got this 200-day moving average. Obviously, we're below that. You know, it's starting to point up a little bit, which is, you know, important to take note of because of the fact that we're not able to, we're not being able to push to the downside like it really should at this moment. But pointing a little bit upwards, got these moving averages pointing down for the 8 and 18, which is important. So let's just start to cycle down where we see, you know, we could put our fib. Again, you know, we want to identify structure as clearly as we can. We had this uptrend here. Boom, you know, little trend line action. We had this uptrend going on. We broke below. So that shows me that we broke bearish. That's on my fib right here is from this high to this low. Little lesson, supply and demand. Had a supply zone up here. Why did I place it like this? This supply zone is just going to be at the top of the push. You know, so this was a new push to a new low where it never retraced until obviously it retested here. We actually got in on some orders there, but how do you draw it from the wick of this bullish candle to the body of this bearish candle? Drag it across, wait for the retest. You know, obviously came back up, retested. So this was definitely a valid support level. But where are we right now? You know, we came all the way up. We retested this level, found no resistance here. So this was a clean retracement. You know, this was a healthy retracement here. But like we talk about every session, you know, if we hit 100%, we hit 88.6 on the fib, 78.6. We're not going to just shoot to zero. You know, we're going to form structure on this lower time frame. You know, we're going to continue to trend. So at the moment, we are at this 618 level. You know, we're at this 618 level on this daily fib. We're retesting that. And basically, I could wait on this daily time frame. You know, I could wait for a daily setup, blah, blah, blah. Or I could bump down to the 4 hour, get a closer look, you know, as to what's going on. I can start to evaluate this 4 hour structure. Look at the 4 hour. We're not going to look at price yet, but look at the 4 hour, how we broke this. This was a big break for us. We broke bullish. We retested. We formed a new high up here. Then we pulled back. I'm going to take this off for now. We pulled all the way back. You know, this was our demand zone. If we want to draw a little bit of a demand zone based on this 4 hour, this is our demand zone. And basically it's our last line of defense, our last line of support here, right? This is our demand zone. If this was broken, then we would have looked, to switch up or whatever. But obviously price hasn't come to retest that yet. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to bring this fib back on. So this was our first retracement, found support. This is a 4-hour level, 4-hour level of support that I drew on here based on this support, resistance, 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 support. Then obviously found some more support here. So this found support here, and then we had this like minor break right here. Nothing significant here, guys. Just still finding that first higher low in this uptrend, right? Mindful on the daily, we're bearish. Weekly, we're bearish. Monthly, we're bearish. 4-hour, we're still bullish, right? So that's why we're looking on this 4-hour right now. We came up, we ended up pulling through the moving averages. We were trying to make this push, back to the upside, ended up failing, moving averages crossed. Then we came back down. We just retested these lows. I'm going to take this off for now. I'm going to take this off for now. We just retested these lows right here, found support again. So we just found support again at this low on this 4-hour time frame. Basically on this 4-hour, this is like a 78.6 fib, whatever. Let me take this off. Just being versatile here, bring it on the 4-hour fib. So 4-hour, we're a little bit below this 618 level right now, but I'm not going to leave this on. I'm going to bring my daily fib back on. So I got this daily fib. So again, daily fib, we're below the 618, and there's a lot going on now, but this is all, information that's very important for us to try to make a decision, because this chart is looking crazy right now. This chart is very unclear right now as to what's going on. So we're below this 618 level, definitely an important level for us on this daily time frame. On this 4-hour time frame, a lot of consolidation, within this zone right here, following this push. I wouldn't consider this a rectangle or anything because we did push up a little bit, right here. So I would not consider that a rectangle or anything. So really what I'm looking for right now, mindful that this is an important 4-hour level. This is obviously a level of resistance that just formed, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Obviously, we're coming up to test these highs again. I'm waiting, on this. I'm not trying to trade in this range. I know a lot of people will trade it within the range. You could do that intraday. You could be taking opportunities, within this range. As price came into the red, buy. As price comes into the red, sell. You could do that, and then you could get bit based on the actual real move that's about to come, right? You could get, you could get bit on the real move that's about to come through. So I'm just waiting for one of two scenarios, to be completely honest. I'm waiting for a break above this resistance level long into this. I'll probably take some sort of breakout style entry, considering, look previously. If we get a 4-hour break and then second close above, then I'm going to probably just take a breakout style entry on this and go long. But on the same time, considering the daily, weekly, monthly, we're bullish or bearish, we want to sell. If we do see a break below this, red zone, and for me personally, I'm seeing, and obviously right now we're testing my forecasting idea, considering we're coming back up into this red zone. But the way that I'm seeing this is we are, let me just resize this again. We formed this level of resistance, then we formed a lower high, and now we formed another lower high. We're retesting this lower high right now. So price is definitely like descending for us, and on the bottom, we just continue retesting this same level. So this level ultimately like could be getting weaker, but we're just gonna wait. I'm gonna keep this on the 4-hour. I'm gonna change this to red. Red means I'm just waiting on the 4-hour. That means that I won't check this for another 4 hours. I'm going to wait on this. This isn't a setup I'm looking for today, realistically. I'll move this down my watch list down here, and I'm just going to be patient on this. As opposed to GU is something that I'm looking for today. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, like I'm looking on the 1 hour with GU and seeing what's going on. So that's UJ. Let's bump over to USEF. USEF is in a very similar position. So all the way up on the weekly time frame, again, looks fairly similar to USD JPY. You know, a lot of consolidation here, a lot of big candles going on here, you guys. A lot of big candles. What we want to do is we want to break these down time frames. We see things more clearly. Have this supply zone right here marked. Obviously, price found resistance out of it. Price found resistance again at the 88.6. Now, you know, could we bump back up, retrace, and retest? I'm not sure. I mean, let's bump down to the 4 hour, down to the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame again, you know, can be very confusing. In an uptrend, you know, made this lower high. I marked down this trend line right here. We just sort of broke above this trend line, which is interesting. So basically what we're looking at on this 4 hour time frame is we have broken, you know, slightly bullish at the moment. And really what I'm looking for is at this point, I'm going to clear this off. I'm going to clear this off right here. That is definitely a significant level that we're looking to break. But basically, if we can get some sort of like confirmed like bullish signal right now, like on this trend line, then we're going to look to long, you know, right here. But more ideally is we're going to look to break below these this level that was formed, this level of support. We're going to look to break below that, look to break back below this trend line right here. And if that happens, then we will definitely short USAF. So again, USAF staying on this 4 hour time frame. So for today, you know, nothing crazy with USAF, just waiting. Got 4 hours left. I don't need to be on the 30-minute right now. I'm gonna get confused on the 30-minute, and you know, just become like mad frustrated taking some sort of sell or buy or whatever, and just not know what's going on. So I'm gonna stick there. Let's go over to UCAD. UCAD daily time frame, weekly time frame. Got a huge supply zone that we've been talking about for a minute that we're in. So, you know, definitely some resistance coming out of here. Form this bearish engulfing, which definitely is key for me. Kind of tells me that there's more sellers than buyers. And we're continuing to find resistance. Found a lot of resistance here. Found a lot of resistance here. So let's go over to the daily time frame. Daily time frame started to transition slightly. Hold on one second. I don't know if that's your mic, Nick, but it's like bugging.
It's not me. I think two people joined.
Daily time frame. Let's see. We made this lower high right here. You know, moving averages cross. Now we're retesting this high. We're retesting this high, and look at this daily candle that's forming right now. I know we got 7 hours left, but this would be huge for us if this engulfed right here at this.
Also,
yeah, what were you say?
Also, it's UCAD, so the Canadian dollar is directly affected to oil once again, and this giant rally came from the failure of oil, right? So the oil prices were dropping like crazy, so naturally UCAD appreciated like crazy, right? So now we're seeing some resistance levels here after this big push, a bit of consolidation. Now we're finding a bit of resistance. The inverse is happening for oil. We're actually seeing it's finding support, and it's actually moving in an upward fashion, which would more stabilize price and bring US CAD back down. Which supports this technical analysis on Angela's part. So we definitely could see a play down to the bottom of this range. But until then, we'll just wait for these 7 hours, wait for that confirmation. Again, if this is a daily engulfing, that's huge, and definitely could be some really high probability trade setups on lower time frames.
Oh yeah.
So and UCAD's been interesting lately, to say the least.
Yeah, so pretty much we are just waiting to see what confirms here. Again, we're trading out of our zones. This is our major zone, this supply zone. This is our 4 hour zone right here. Let's bump down to the 4 hour. This was that 4 hour level that was broken. That was major for us. Major break right here. Pretty much found some resistance here, failed, came up. That's why I bumped up. This was a big big break for me right here. This was a big break. This told me the 4 hour actually went kind of bullish. So I bump up to the daily, get more clarity, what's going on. This is obviously a daily daily lower high that was formed. Moving averages crossed here. Now we're retesting that. As this candle begins to form, what I want to look for is I want to look on the 1 hour. I want to look on the 1 hour and see, and this is sort of what's going on right now on this 1 hour time frame, is we're breaking below this level. We're breaking below this right here, this little range where we found support and bumped up. That's significant for us. And then the sellers came in and was like, no, more sellers than buyers at this time. So really what needs to happen on this? Obviously, there's a lot of time left on this daily candle. There's a ton of time left on this daily candle. So we might get some sort of pullback, in this little push right here. But realistically, this thing could continue to fall. I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna be very patient with this at this time. I'm not gonna take like any aggressive entry right now. Like ideally or realistically, I could take a entry now, put stops all the way up here, but look how wide they would be. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna wait on this 1 hour time frame. Even if I bring in a little bit of a trend line, not looking too nice right here, but definitely broke below some levels here. Definitely broke below. So let's see if this holds. So UCAT, I'm gonna put a little bit higher up on the watch list for today. And again, I'll drop some analysis for you guys. And then let's go to NZ USD. Let's bump up so we get a little more clarity as to what's going on. So beginning of this week, had a nice fall off. Now we're into support. We're into major support now on this NZ USD pair. This weekly level, if we go back to previously where this thing came into play, is look at resistance, support, resistance, had some consolidation there, and then haven't retested these lows in a long ass time. So now we're back at this level. Obviously, bullish engulfing, failed bearish candle. Could this be another failed bearish candle? Looks like it right now. Daily time frame, threw us for a curveball here. Definitely broke bullish. Had this lower high form right here from this bearish trend, and then we broke above there. Then we had this bullish engulfing at this support level, which was major. But then yesterday closed with an evening star. Yesterday closed with an evening star. So, things, we have to wait on this right now. Let's look at the 4 hour, 4 hour time frame. Let's look and see what's going on here. Basically made some new highs, made this higher low, made some new highs. And then this was our higher low that was formed right here that we're retesting at this point. So I am looking for similar to yesterday, and yesterday was right in the same situation that we're in now, is I'm looking to break below this. We need to break below here, a confirmed break. Like this is not confirmed. Break, and then next candle bullish, which brought us as a tested area. Brought us right back into this range. We need bearish candle, 2 bearish candles in a row to close below to actually send a short on this. Will we go bullish on this if we get some confirmation? Yes, I mean there is potential to go bullish on this. What we would need to see though is I would need to see a nice transition right now. Like ideally on this daily, like look at this daily time frame. Like this, the most recent price action here tells me bearish, evening star, bearish. 4 hour, obviously just had a nice bullish candle come through. This isn't any like really setup though. Like down to the 30 minute, ideally we need to find support, make a higher low here, break above. I would want to see a new high form. So really on the 30 minute, which I'm not even going to go on yet, I need to break above this level on the 30 minute before I get long. And when price does break above this level, I could do one of two things. I could wait for a retest, or I could just take a breakout. I think there'll be enough volume to take a breakout on this. So I'm going to mark this off. And then we'll just trade into this upper zone. We'll trade up into this red zone right here. Let me bump back up to the 4 hour. What is this red zone? Look at the 4 hour. Some consolidation here, found resistance. found resistance here. Let's bump up to the daily, and then this is ultimately what this level is, just this daily, these wicks, this level here that was rejected on right here. So this is like a daily important level right here that we came off of. So yeah, I mean that's what we're looking for with NZD USD. Again, we need, look at here again, bearish candle, bullish candle came back through. No, we need bearish, bearish. 2 bearish candles in a row will tell us all we need about this pair, and we'll go short, considering that we'll be in this zone, which it'll find a lot of volume in. So that's what we're waiting for with NZD. So my top 3 for the week, or for the rest of this week, GU, obviously GU I'm looking at the most closely. UCAD, I'm going to monitor UCAD. Again, let's go up to this daily. So we're looking to short UCAD. We're looking to short UCAD. We're looking to, look at it now. UCAD's definitely falling off a little bit at the moment. Could we take an aggressive entry here? Maybe. I mean, there might be enough volume considering the zone that we're coming out of. I'll take a look at this after this call and see what's good. But let's go all the way down to the 15-minute. This isn't exactly a pattern that we trade right here. This is just kind of just continuation. This isn't really a pattern that we trade. So hopefully we can just wait it out and get some sort of pullback and then have a more ideal entry. I feel like this would just be more of a screaming entry, where you just get
burned. No, that'd be you'd be entering pretty hot. So
yeah, you'd just be getting fucking burned on this. So
yeah, you gotta watch.
So we're gonna wait on this, but again, UCAD looking to short. I'll draw in the analysis, waiting for more of a little bit of a pullback and then find actual rejection. And then we'll look to go short on this. So UCAD and then NZ USD, looking for 1 of 2 scenarios. Could we solidify this break below here, couple 1 hour candles, take us below? Or are we going to find support based on this little minor 30-minute, and are we going to continue long into that zone? So another intraday move. So those 3, and then USEF, UJ waiting on the 4 hour. Let's bump up to GJ and let's just take a look real quick at GJ. What's going on with this? Let's bump up to the 1 hour. So GJ had a nice sell-off earlier this week. This was a great trade going on actually that I wasn't looking at. Let's go to the daily time frame. Found resistance at this 50% level. Not the best level to trade off of, but this resistance level definitely made it a little bit more significant. At this point, we are retesting this support level. This support level is definitely major right now. And again, we're trying to navigate. These markets are crazy right now. These markets are pretty nuts. We're trying to navigate them the best that we can, given the craziness as to what's really going on right now. So again, on this 4 hour time frame, obviously this is some daily support that we're retesting, that daily 38.2, whatever. But on this 4 hour, I'm looking more closely at this. We broke below here. This was definitely a key 4 hour break. I'm going to draw some structure on this 4 hour time frame for us. Fib from this high to this low. This is where I'm looking for price to come into. I'll go back to our entry zones that we draw. I'm looking for price to come into here. We'll draw it with this. I'm looking for price to retest this area before I wait for a bearish setup, bearish engulfing, evening star, bearish variation, and then I'll look at that. Yeah. And then I'll look at that lower time frame and try to make a trade out of it. So that's GJ. That's GJ right now. This is the last pair I'm looking at. I'm gonna change this to red. Again, got the watch list. What I do with the watch list, just have major, minor pairs, and I just organize them by color. And then I can just come in. Purple's trades that I'm in. Orange is lower time frame, intraday setups. Red is 4 hour, higher time frame that I'm waiting on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for the live session.
Yeah, make sure to check the analysis too, as we'll be posting everything we just covered. as they develop, guys. We do that throughout the day as we see these moves start to play out. So yeah, definitely want to be in the Discord. Definitely stay plugged in and aware of what we're watching and posting.
Yeah, so we got this premium analysis channel. It's $7 if you guys want to get in this. This we post like every day, like lower time frame setups in here. This is just it's included in membership as well. But obviously, thank all you guys for staying on. For you guys that came late, this is recorded. I saw some things in here about some pairs we already covered. We're not going to go back to them. That's why we record this, so you can go back, take a look as what's going on. Again, I want to just go over really quickly. We do have this sale going on for everybody. We have 6 spots left now. I need to update this. So we got this sale going on for the full course membership. Everything here is included. It's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, these live sessions are, you can't talk with us. You know what I mean? You can't talk with us. This is one way. Inside the course, we'll do one-on-ones with you. We'll work with you on webinars. That's the whole point of it. All the feedback that we're getting is that the main positive thing is that people realize that when they're in our course, that it's more than videos, that it's actually like a personalized connection that you guys have with us. That's because we try to make things as organized as possible. We let you guys schedule calls with us. Everything is already set up, ready to go. You guys can just schedule at times at your convenience. Doesn't matter what time zone you're in, whatever. If you're not comfortable getting on calls, that's fine. You can always just shoot us a message, whatever. So again, everything that's included, for you guys that are rewatching this, you can just slow this up. This is the whole entire course, everything that's in here. We go in depth on everything, our whole entire strategy. And it's just for you guys that are in your first year, second year, whatever, this is continuing education. Forex, you got to continuously be learning, but the most important thing you want to get to is this. You want to be back testing. If you guys don't know what back testing is, we could cover that potentially in a webinar coming up. We're thinking of doing a free webinar for everybody. But you want to get to the point where you're testing your strategy. You have certain habits you go through to be confident in what you're looking for and stuff like that. And obviously, psychology is big, so we got like a whole section kind of just talking right about that. So if you're interested in this, just shoot me a message, after this. And obviously, thank everybody that stayed on for the duration of the call. We're going to go again tomorrow, same time, 9 a.m. And we'll send out any trades that we get today for you guys in the signals. And then for you guys that aren't, we'll update some of our analyses. And yeah, just stay ready. Stay ready.
Yeah, guys. Absolutely. Big things are coming. So yeah, get to the Discord at the very least if you're not already. But I'm sure most of you are. So anyway, yeah, guys, thank you again.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
see
Yeah.
you tomorrow.
Have a profitable day. All right. Best of luck, and we'll catch you guys later.